Hey YouTube, DDude987 here with Team Progressive, and today I'm going to be showing my Iron Chain deck. I decided to show Iron Chains because there's lots and lots of top tier stuff, and it gets kind of old and boring, you know. Oh, that's great, you synchro to the value in 1. Ooh, that was interesting. No, how I show you like a really cool deck that's actually kind of consistent and really underestimated and not used at all. So let's get started with Iron Chains. First, we have Iron Chain Repairman. What he does is that if there's an Iron Chain monster in my graveyard, level 4 or lower, I can special summon it, unless it's an Iron Chain Repairman. He can't special summon himself, unfortunately. And if I special summon an Iron Chain monster from the graveyard with this guy's effect, he cannot attack that turn, but that isn't like the main use. The main use I have for him is tuning for Black Rose with the 3-star tuner. So let's get going. Iron Chain Snake. What he does is, he's just a basic 3-star Iron Chain monster, and what he does is when he can equip himself to any of your opponent's monsters, and that monster loses 800 attack and defense, and when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, they mill cards equal to its level. So like if I equip this as Stardust, and it goes into 1700, then I can run it, maybe run it, if I'm lucky, run it over, and then they'll mill 8 cards, which is really effective against a lot of decks. So he's really effective in like lowering attacks and milling right through the deck. Really good. Next, Iron Chain Coil. I have him in here. I have 3 just because I can tune with him. He's a 3-star recyclable with Iron Chain Repairman, so he only has one purpose, and that's to tune. I mean, he does boost up Iron Chain monsters permanently by 300 attack and defense once per turn, so that is a plus side, but I really don't really use that effect. I just tune, and for Black Rose, blow up the field and keep on playing. He's really recyclable and good. So, I mean, I've seen decks, they play 2, which I think 3 is actually a better number, because he really I've actually gotten him up to like 2500 attack or so, pretty effective. So, definitely run 3 if you're going to play this deck. Sangan, just your basic searcher, searches for like 99% of the deck. Actually searches for all but my Iron Chain Repairman. Every other monster is less than 1500. So, he's really good, you know, just a staple. Grand Mole, because there's lots of synchros going on, and he really gets rid of them. You know, like, they have a Colossal Fighter, gets rid of it, instead of having to run it over and having it come back, stuff like that. So, really effective, because I don't play a lot of monster destruction in here. I mainly attack. Morphing Jar, your basic cycle 5 card, discard, everyone discards hands and draws 5. It's a really good effect, so I play 1. Well, there's not really much else to say about Morphing Jar. It's kind of a staple in any mill deck. I would recommend playing it if you're going to even try to build a mill deck. Definitely play one. Or even decks that don't have a lot of draw power, you can definitely tech it in there. It's a really good card. Moving on is Destiny Hero Defender. 2700 defense, so all it really is for stalling, and I can use Rhoda on it. So that's really the main purpose of it, is to set and stall. When it's face-up defense position, my opponent draws an extra card during their standby phase, which may seem like a disadvantage to me, but actually just runs through their deck faster. So, I mean, at first it's like, oh, yay, I'm drawing cards. Eventually when they get low on cards, it's like, oh no, now I'm screwed. So, really effective against a lot of decks, especially against Lightsworn. Unless they JD, then you get screwed over. Needleworm, just a basic staple card in any mill deck. I mean, flip, opponent mills 5. It can't get more basic than that. Really good. I would definitely recommend playing 3. If you're going to build a mill deck at all, you have to play 3. It's just that good. Moving on, spells. Heavy Storm is a staple. Missile Space Typhoon is also a staple. And I consider Lightning Vortex a staple, because anything I can't get rid of by attacking, such as Colossal Fighter, Spirit Reaper, I'll Lightning Vortex. And really effective in this deck. 2 Nightmare Steel Cages to stop my opponent from attacking me. I can't attack either, but it just gets me time to set up my field and make the mill more, like set a Needleworm, flip face up, and they can't run it over for extra damage. So, really effective. Swords of Revealing Light, stall for 3 turns. It's kind of just a basic stall card. Reinforcements to the Army, Rhoda is just a search for my defenders or my repairmans, depending on the situation. Actually really good at 1. Kind of glad it's not at 2, because then Teledad decks would definitely come back with Stratos. So, Tech 1, really effective. 2 Book of Eclipse, really good. Everything goes face down. Then all monsters go face down, and then they flip. My opponent's monsters flip face up, defense position. They draw a card for each. Really good against Lightsworn. Most people don't understand this, but if I chain this to a Lightsworn milling, like it'll go face down, they'll flip face up, and they'll draw, and then they'll all have to mill again. So it's really effective when like they have a JD and something else, and they'll go, I mill 3 for my Lumina, and then I go, okay, now I Book of Eclipse to the JD, and they all go face down, flip face up, you draw 2, and then they'll mill 4 and 3 more for Lumina again. So it's really effective against Lightsworn. Really, if you're going to make a mill deck, this is really competitive if you want to build it to a competitive level. 3 shrinks, because lots of cards like to run my Iron Chain monsters over, so, I mean, it even brings a JD down to less than Iron Chain Repairman. Of course, there needs the effect anyway, but it's really, really effective. 2 burden, because lots of monsters are high level and have lots of attacks. This brings them down, along with snakes, so I can run them over and make them mill lots of cards. Poison chains. What this does is that when I don't attack in the turn, and I have this face up and I don't attack all of my Iron Chain monsters, my opponent will mill 1 card for every face-up Iron Chain monster I control. So I've gotten like 10 cards off on this. Really, really effective in milling the deck out. Next is my last spell is Card Destruction. It's pretty basic, self-explanatory. Everyone discards their hand, draws more, just cycles through the deck. And I actually have won games with it. Really, really effective. I really, really like it. If you're going to build an Iron Chain deck, you'd have to play this. Lastly, Torrential and 3 Threatening Roars, because they're really good. Stops attacks from like Lightsworn, Blackwings, any OTKs. That's my Iron Chain deck. I'm not going to show you my extra deck because it's kind of self-explanatory, just a bunch of synchros. So, yep, this is DDude987. Please rate and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye, YouTube.